All right, happy Monday, everybody. This is the last week before your spring break. So you'll have 2 assignments from me, just like we have been doing this week, and then the next week will be spring break. So you won't have any assignments. You shouldn't have any assignments from any teacher, I would think, next week. So if you're behind, you can try to catch up a little bit this week, and then you can definitely catch up next week because you won't have anything new. So we are jumping back to color because the county has, I guess, mandated that we not teach any new material and that we only review material. So I was really disappointed with that because I thought that we were moving along with the principles of design. And you guys did so well with the balance assignment from last week, analyzing the artwork there. So I was ready to move on to, I think we were going to move on to movement, but it's okay. We're going to go back through the elements of art, but we're going to do different little mini projects with those instead of the same ones that we did. So we're going back to color. Color is what we started with at the very, very first of the semester. So I'm going to go through I'm going to go through a few slides here, probably down to this one. And then I'm going to talk about a little assignment that I want you to do with this. And then I'm going to post a new assignment either tomorrow or probably Wednesday, if I had to guess. So, all right, starting with this slide, color theory. Color theory is just the theory of how colors work together, right? So we have a very detailed color wheel here with the primary colors on the inside. If you remember, primary colors cannot be made. Their pigments are they have to be found. You can't make yellow out of other colors. You can't make red and you can't make blue. So they're the primary colors. And then the secondary colors are on the outside there. So green, orange, and violet or purple. And then on the outside rim here, we have the 12 colors that make up the color wheel. Now, are there more colors than this in the world? Definitely. There's endless, infinite variations of color, but we use these 12 colors as kind of just the baseline of how to describe things in art. If you can hear my dog, she's like scratching and trying to make a bed over here. So we watched a few videos. One of them, if you remember, it was like a beach, and we stared at it, and it was in this weird color. And then it transformed, and it was a black and white image, but your mind put the colors into it. So we talked about kind of how color works. We talked about light bouncing off of things. So how the thing that you're looking at is actually every color except for that color, because that's the color that bounces back into your eyes. And we speculated a lot on if color really exists. So here's something a little bit new. So I'm breaking the rules just a little bit. But color has 3 parts, okay? Hue is the first part. The hue is just the name of the color. So red is a hue. Green is a hue. Blue is a hue. That's just what you would call, like what you would categorize the color as. Value, you should know. Value is how light or dark something is. So you could have, if we talk about value and hue, you could have a dark green versus a light green, right? And then the last thing that we didn't really talk about was saturation. And saturation is how dull or how bright a color is, or how muted or how saturated a color is, right? So you could have a dark, very saturated blue, right? Or you could have a light, muted yellow. So those are just more specific ways that we can describe color. And for our other project this week, I haven't decided, but we may look at saturation a little bit more. All right, so there's our 12 colors again. We've already went through this, primary, secondary, and then these colors, think if you can remember what they're called before I just give it to you. They're called tertiary colors. They're also called intermediate colors sometimes. When I was in college, we called them intermediate colors. These are the colors that are in between a primary color and a secondary color. So primary color is yellow, secondary color is orange. Since primary color, the word is yellow, we go yellow-orange. right? We wouldn't say orange, yellow, because we always say the primary color first. These are really easy to think of because they're literally just the hyphenated two names. So there they are all together. We also talked about warm and cool colors. And this should bring you back to the shoes project, the pop art shoes project, where we had to do all the color schemes. So warm colors, if we split the color wheel down the middle, the warm colors are going to be the ones that feel more warm, right? They're the reds, the oranges, the yellows. On this graphic, yellow-green is included because it gets a little tricky because yellow is a warm color, but green is a cool color. So which category do you put it in, right? So sometimes you just have to look at it and just kind of feel it. Be like, okay, that one feels more warm, or that feels more cool. So it can be a little subjective. Remember that warm colors are exciting. They can make a piece more like dynamic, and they can like produce a lot of movement. And then cool colors are more like calming, relaxing, dulled down, muted. We also talked about how colors relate to each other in the different color schemes. So complementary colors, especially, they are right across from each other. And they are complete opposites, right? So green has absolutely no red in it, and red has absolutely no green in it, and that's why they're complementary. Now, if we go one step over to the yellow-green, let me see if I can get this right here. Yellow-green can't be, I'm trying to think of how it's related to red. I always get so confused. Red. Green is made of blue. Okay, I got it. Okay, so green is made of blue and yellow. No, I don't have it. Anyway, they're right across from each other. There's a cool way to like remember it, and sometimes whenever I remember it, it just clicks in my brain. I'm like, yes, that's it. But I can't think of it right now. Okay. All you need to know is that they're right across from each other. They don't have the colors themselves in them. And they make each other clash, or they make each other pop. So they create contrast. There they are. We talked about how different sports teams use them a lot because they're very striking. So I'm going to embarrass myself, but I think it's LSU, these two colors. Over here, I forgot, y'all. I'm sorry. Somebody can tell me maybe in a comment. And then we talked about Christmas, right? Red and green don't have anything to do with the traditional meaning of Christmas, but somebody figured out that those colors, they look really good together. And so, red and green for Christmas. All right, we also talked about neutral colors. Neutral colors are not on the color wheel. They are our browns, our blacks, our grays, and our whites. They can be mixed with other colors from the color wheel, and that would be like a very unsaturated color, but they are not colors themselves. And we talked about mixing black with a color is a shade, mixing gray with a color is a tone, and mixing white with a color is a tint. And then here's just an illustration of how you can mix complementary colors together, red and green, to make a neutral color. Let me see if there's anything else. We looked at lots of different artwork, and then we looked at all the color schemes. We might review that on Wednesday. We'll see. Here's a cool artist. I don't know if I showed you guys. His name's Dan Flavin. He's a modern artist, and so he's working probably in the 70s, primarily 60s, 70s. And he worked with light and color. So he was one of the first artists to use like fluorescent lighting. So this would be one of his sculptures. And you would just walk into the gallery and you would just be enveloped in color, which is pretty cool. All right. So for your assignment for this week, it's kind of, I think you're going to enjoy it because it's shorter. You don't have to write anything. You don't have to sit down and do anything that is, it's artistic, but it's not, I guess. So you're going to make a color wheel of objects that you have in your home. So I'm trying to zoom in and it won't let me. It won't let me zoom in. Okay. Oh wait. Yeah. There we go. Cool. So this is mine. And I just picked random things. You could do yours thematically if you wanted to. So I've got some sunglasses. I had such a hard time finding red orange. So this isn't really red orange, but it was as close as I could get. I've got a thing of mascara, Burt's Bees for yellow orange, the banana for yellow. This is the top of a lotion thing. This is a greenie. If you have dogs, you might know what that is. This is sunscreen for blue-green, a harmonica box for blue, blue violet, a blackberry. This is the top of a drink lid. You can't see this one. This is a raspberry for red violet, and then I think I already mentioned the sunglasses for red. So mine are all random. You could do yours like conceptually linked if you wanted to. So maybe you have enough makeup that you could do all of it like makeup themed, or maybe you have enough like bright clothing that you could do it all just clothes. Maybe you could do it all food. I kind of wanted to do that, and I got 3 foods, but that would be pretty cool just to do all food. So you can do themes is what I'm trying to say. Mine's pretty small too. You could do yours way smaller, so you could use tiny items, like you could use the caps of this, and it could just be really tiny, or it could be huge. What I don't want you to do is to go get like a thing of sidewalk chalk and just like draw one out, or paint. The whole assignment is that you have to find the things. Okay, so good luck. Go on a search in your house. Make a color wheel. There are 12 colors. It's easy if you go ahead and assemble the primaries first, the red, the yellow, and the blue. Then you can work on the secondaries, the violet, the green, and the orange, and then you can fill in the tertiaries. But yeah, so take a nice photo for me and upload it, and that is your first assignment for this week. Like I said, I will have your next assignment either tomorrow or Wednesday, and I'll send an email like usual whenever it's up. So push through, guys. You've just got this week, and then next week, if you get everything done this week, next week you don't have to do anything school related. And I don't know about you, but I am pretty excited about that. Cool. Have a good day, and I'm excited to see what you guys can find.